Do you want to improve at a quicker pace? Check out the GitGud course. Instead of just understanding concepts, you'll learn how to implement them directly into your driving. What makes it effective is the approach and practical drills. Together, we're gonna focus on breaking down those complex concepts into small digestible bits that are simple to understand. Everything from the course was tested and refined during the years in coaching sessions, so what I ended up with was the ones that I saw were the most effective. Let's elevate your racing skills together. Now for the track guide. Before starting, if you enjoyed this video, giving it a like and a subscribe is a free way to support the channel as I can continue to create more content like this. Now going into the track guide itself, for turn 1 my reference for braking is the 300 meter board. I'm braking before the 300, but I'm looking more at it. And it's super important to almost brush this wall, so use as much as you can the track. I'm braking probably in the middle of 400 and 300, so at this point in time I'm applying the brakes, but you see it's a bit closer to the 300 board. And initially you want to brake in a straight line, you want to make sure you're keeping your steering wheel straight as much as you can, because otherwise you won't be able to brake this late. Another thing worth mentioning, because I'm using here the fixed setup, the only adjustment I can make is in the brake bias. So I lowered the brake bias, that way I can brake a bit more efficiently because I can stop the car in a shorter distance if I lower the brake bias, and I can also rotate a bit more. So I'm using a 54.0 brake bias value everywhere in this lap, but in the last sector of the lap I think if you will increase it by 1% it will be even better. I didn't do that, I kept it constant for the whole lap, but that's one of the, let's say, disadvantages of a lower brake bias. The rear will start to become looser, and if you find yourself spinning the car often, then you might want to just lower the brake bias for turn 1, because this is like a low speed corner, and then adjust it everywhere else in the lap. But going into T1 again, you want to reach 100% on the brakes, so you want to brake quite heavily and downshifting in second gear before you fully commit to the corner, because if you will downshift a bit lazier and if you will time the timing of the downshift with a lot of steering wheel angle, then the car can become nervous and it can spin. I'm apexing around this purple, let's say, color around here, so I want to clip a bit this curb like this with my right tires, so I can try to cut a bit of it. And now going in second gear, the moment that you hit that curb, you put the throttle back in, and you don't want to go all the way to the left hand here near the grass, because you will lose time in the next corner. You want to be on the left side, but not all the way to the left, and make sure you're not in the center as well. You're gonna compromise too much and you won't get that time back. So you will think that, okay, I will be quicker here, but you can't get that time back if you are too slow in T1. So look at this position, this is roughly what you can use. Now, whenever we're going into this corner, we just drop the throttle and we cut a lot near the grass. Notice that I'm just doing a throttle drop and then picking up back again, because here on the entry of the next corner, it's okay if you're all the way to the right side near the grass. That's exactly where you want to be, so maximizing the track usage. And now we're going diagonally towards, because this is like a longer corner, has a larger radius, and we want to position ourselves all the way to the other side. So the quickest way to arrive there is in a straight line. So you don't want to go here on the left and follow the line on the outside. Instead, you want to go here diagonally, position the car so you can touch with your left tires this curbing, and whenever you're touching it and you have the steering wheel almost straight, then you're gonna apply brakes and you will turn into the corner. Notice that I'm not braking very hard, I'm using the brakes just to rotate the car, not to slow it down too much. And in fourth gear, without doing a downshift, I'm balancing it with a trail brake to get more and more rotation, and even before hitting this curve, I'm going back on throttle, and I'm also steering. Notice that I'm forcing the steering wheel a bit here because I want to cut near the grass like that initially, because you want ideally to be all the way here on this curve on the left side. You want to arrive to push the car as much as you can, because this car has has downforce, and because of that downforce, it's okay if you are all the way on the left side, because you can easily take this flat like that and you won't lose time. So push as much as you can, carry as much speed as you can in the previous corner, because the next one will just be flat. Now for the next corner in front of us, I use the 300 meter board again as a reference for braking. At the 300, I'm applying the brakes, I'm braking in a straight line. Don't use the curbing on the right side to brake on it. You will just brake a bit less efficient, because this curbing has these little bumps that go up and down, and the tire will go up and down, and it won't make contact at all times with the tarmac. So avoid braking on it, just brake on the white line. And in this corner I'm using second gear. Again, I'm trying to clip this curbing just a tiny bit. As you can notice, the tallest part of the curbing is here in the middle. So there's a point here, there's like an area that you can use through here where the curb is not that rough. So you have to exploit it a bit. Just put the left tires on it in the beginning of it, immediately go back on throttle, and I'm trying to position the car as much as I can on the left side. Obviously you don't have enough time to go all the way to the left, so make as much as you can from it, then turn with 100% throttle into this corner. Just doing a small lift here to make sure I have a bit of weight on the front tires to make the car turn even more, because I want to cut this grass like this. It's not an off track, and the more you cut here, the better it's gonna be in the next corner. Now picking back the throttle again, and I will apply the same thing into this corner as well, just that here, because it has a bigger radius, you have to drop the throttle a lot more. So I'm dropping it, as you can see, 2 times more. And again, go as close as you can to the grass, put back the throttle, and here, for the next corner, ideally you want to be in the center right part of the track. You don't want to be all the way to the right, it will compromise your run in the next corner. If you're all the way on the left, you will lose some time that you can never get back. But being in the center, or just a bit center right, it is going to be the perfect way to position the car. And in this corner, you have to brake earlier than you think. So right now I'm applying the brakes whenever I'm turning, and I'm looking at this concrete on the right side of the curb, this one, because you want to cut as much as you can. The off-track limit is you having your left tires still on the white line. So as long as you do that, you won't get the off track, and if you don't exploit this part of the track, you will be at least 2/10 slower, because right now we have quite a decent straight up until our next corner. So it's super important to cut as much as we can and then immediately smash the throttle in third gear. Make sure you're using all the track right here. And now we will just take the shortest spot. We're gonna apex around the curbing, and now diagonally positioning the car. I will brake in between the 300 and 200, so at this point in time I'm applying the brakes. You see it's just a tiny bit closer to the 300, but it's slightly past it. And now whenever going into this braking, the same thing, barely clip this curb, immediately put back the throttle, and you don't want to go all the way to the left. You won't have enough time to reposition for the next corner. And it's critical to get the next corner right, because we have the longest straight of the track again. So we have to sacrifice a bit this corner. Don't go all the way to the left, stay more in the center left, and now position the car. Try to get it as close as you can to the right side, given the time that you have. You won't have enough time to properly put it, but make the most of the time that you have, meaning in between these corners, don't relax too much, hustle the car, use your steering wheel, try to force the car to go as much as you can to the right side. And now in this corner, I'm going with 100% throttle, and I'm already steering to the right side, and I'm braking just a tiny bit. This is 30% and quickly dropping, downshifting to second, and right now my vision is around this extra curb that starts to appear, because as you can notice around here, the curbing starts to get a bit wider. So I want to put my tire on this wider part of the curbing like this to exploit it as much as I can. And now pushing the throttle very early. This is critical here, like you can gain a lot of time. Notice that I'm on throttle at this point in time. So even before fully turning the car, I'm pushing the throttle, because I know if I will be even 100 milliseconds earlier on power, I can gain half a tenth, because it's a long straight. So the earlier you'll be on throttle, the more time you're gonna gain. Pushing the throttle all the way, barely brush the grass here on the right side. That's how you know you're carrying the proper amount of speed. And now just taking the shortest spot, hugging this curb, now going diagonally towards the left wall, and in short, that's a track guide of Indianapolis with the F4. So I hope you will have a great week around here, and if you want to improve at a quicker pace, you can check out my sim racing course. It's in the video description. It packs around 7 hours worth of content, or even more actually, because I'm adding even more lessons as the time goes by, and I think it will help you improve a lot. Thanks for watching, thanks for sticking around, and I'm looking forward to see you in the next one. Bye bye!